Okay. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. For some time, it has been going on in my mind, the connection between chakras and souls and also emotions. So I was not able to really establish a relationship, but then I was thinking deeper and deeper, and I was thinking whether something can be drawn, if not at a very uh, direct level, at least if there can be some gross relationships. So, based on this concept, I tried to formulate these sessions. Of course, I'm sure nobody would have thought or uh, mm, even mm, imagined that this should be talked about. Not because I'm wiser; it is just that it is a thought that came to my mind. So with that, I'm starting the session, and it's of course open for discussion because this is not any theory that has been established. It is just a thought that came to my mind, and I thought let me discuss it in your forum. And if people like or people have any comments, maybe they can share what are their thoughts. So, essentially speaking, I'll be talking about three things. One is emotions that we have, different kinds of emotions that we have. I'll talk about that. Chakras, I don't need to talk about because I am sure all of you in this forum are spiritually educated and you know chakras, how it functions, and all of that. So I'll not focus too much on chakras. And souls also, I'm sure all of you are aware, but still I'll speak a bit about souls and soul journey and so on. And then I'll try to connect where you are in the middle of these three things and how these three things are connected in some way. Not very specific, but still some way if these things can be connected or can be related to one another. So I'll start with the state of mind, view of life, and emotions. And first, I'll start with the different kinds of emotions that we go through, and uh, what I think I discussed this earlier also once. When we talk about the negative emotions, these are called the levels of falsehood, and they are called the levels of falsehood because not that the emotions are false, not that they actually don't exist. They do exist in our mind, in different situations, in different circumstances, but they are called false levels of falsehood because most of these negative emotions that we have, um, we try to find out the source beyond ourselves. That is, we always try to say or try to talk to ourselves and explain ourselves that I am not the reason of this negative emotion. It is somebody else. For example, if I'm ashamed of something, for example, I was supposed to go to a wedding, and I I am in such a rush. I had to rush from office directly to the wedding, and there was no way I could miss the wedding. But I, of course, carried a gift along with me and all that. But I had to rush from office because had I gone from office to home and then again to the wedding, there was no time. So I reached the wedding venue. Everybody is there. Everybody is extremely well dressed, lot of perfumes, lot of interesting people and all that. And I am there in office attire, office dress. So I'm ashamed. So I'm ashamed because I'm not wearing the kind of dress that everybody else around me are wearing. So if I'm ashamed, what is the first thought that come to my mind? I am ashamed because everybody else is so well dressed. I am ashamed because Um, I could not get out of office on time. So I will blame the office because they don't allow me to leave early, or I'll blame where I stay, it is so far, and so on. We don't look deep inside us. Like, should I be ashamed of this at all or not? Why should I be ashamed? Is this same sense of shame because of me or because of somebody else? Guilt. I stay away from my son and I'm not able to give much time to my son. So there's a guilt, and the guilt is within me that I'm not able to give sufficient time to my child. And why is this guilt? And when this guilt comes, I try to blame, oh, what kind of a job I'm into, I'm not even able to spend time with my son. So it is the circumstances, the situation that we blame. So if I'm ashamed, I blame the distance from office to the venue, people around, the marriage ceremony, and all that. So that is why the shame is there. Guilt because of the situation I'm staying for. So we try to find a cause of all the low level emotions which are out of our heart, I mean, beyond our periphery of consideration. So if we are able to find out that we are responsible for our negative emotions, then perhaps overcoming all these negative emotions is easier and faster. Now, question is, we are of different types, we are of different kinds of people. Everybody is different. Question is, do we spend more of our time? I'm talking about a long time horizon, say 20 years, 25 years. Do we spend more of our time in trying to manage and handle the survival paradigm, or we are spending more time of our life in the spiritual paradigm of love, joy, peace, and enlightenment? That is the fundamental question. The question is not that whether you have sporadic situations of anger, pride, fear, desire, grief, guilt, shame, or not. We are all human beings. We all will go through grief in our life. But are we able to come out very fast and again go back to the spiritual paradigm? Now, interestingly, whenever we are in a happy state, joyful state, lovable state of mind, we always take the credit to ourselves. We always say, oh, if I'm happy, I'm the reason for my happiness. I wanted to be happy, so I'm happy. We don't talk about situations there. So we try to say, irrespective of the situation, I'm happy. Just mind the difference there. When you are in any of the survival paradigm, I mean, right from pride to shame, the lower emotions, we talk about situation, why we are ashamed, why we are having a guilt, why we are having apathy, grief, whatever, fear, whatever it is. We try to talk about situation, we try to find out reasons. But when you are in a joyful state, you don't find reasons for that. It is internal. So that is why we generally call those as the levels of truth. Truth because we know that it is within us, it is not external to our system. So the question is, the transformation of our life, if you take a long time horizon of 25 years, 20 years, and so on, overall, are we able to survive? Are we able to live? Are we able to lead our life in the spiritual paradigm or in the survival paradigm? Okay. And here comes something called reason and integrity. So, reason and integrity is whether we consciously want to, whether we are consciously willing to, whether we are having the courage to overcome the survival paradigm and push our soul, push our mind and heart towards the spiritual paradigm. And it sounds funny, but it takes courage. It takes courage to combat any survival paradigm and move to a spiritual paradigm. Spiritual paradigm is all within us, it is not external to our system. So, first is we have to have the courage. We cannot be in a self pity mode. We have to let go of all the reasons why we are in the survival paradigm, which means we have to let go of the levels of falsehood, the reasons why. So, you need to have the courage. Neutrality here means to let go of the reasons because of which you blame somebody else, because of which you are unhappy, you are in a state of grief, fear, whatever it is. And to come to that phase of neutrality, what is most important is to let go. Letting go is also very closely connected to forgiveness. Unless you're able to forgive, you cannot let go because it will keep on haunting you. Once you're able to forgive, you are able to let go. And once you're able to let go the reason of your negative emotion, you have a strong urge within. Yes, I want to change. I want to be happy. I want to be in a joyous state of mind. That willingness comes, that acceptance comes. And that is the reason to move to the higher paradigm. And the higher paradigm is, of course, a state of happiness, state of peace, enlightenment. Okay. Now, each of these states also talks about predominant emotional states of our mind, the view about life. And many a times, what happens if you're talking about the negative emotions, they don't come alone. They are always accompanied with another three or four negative emotions. So, for example, let us assume a situation where my father is unwell. Okay, he is bedridden and he is not able to move, and he had an accident and he is bedridden now. So obviously, there is an element of sadness and grief. Now, that is also leading me to fear. Why fear? Because I've seen a lot of my friends' parents at very old age, if they are unable to move from bed for a period of time, they lose the courage or appetite or whatever you call to walk. And my father had a femur bone fracture. So I have the fear that once the bone joins, he may not be able to walk. because he already has knee problems, severe knee problems. And then my mind goes, why did it happen? He was getting down from a cab, and the cab did not even wait for him to comfortably get down. The cab started, and the door banged on him from back, and he just fell down on his face. So there's the immense anger on the cab driver. How can you be so careless? You know that it is a person of close to 90 years of age. Don't you have a minimum level of empathy, compassion, kindness? And that leads to guilt. Guilt is, I wish I was there at home at that time. If I was there, then he wouldn't have been required to go to the market to buy stuff. I could have got it. The guilt is coming there. And then there's shame. What kind of a son I am? I can't even take care of my father when his age is 90 plus. Look at the situation now. All these negative emotions don't come alone. They always come in bunch. And if you are not able to take care of your negative emotions, and you always have that, that kind of a comfort zone with negative emotions. You always try to cling them to your heart. Oh, it is my negative emotion. It's my sadness, my grief, my fear. So the first thing required here is to think about the situation, why it happened. The driver of the cab. Did the driver deliberately do it? Of course not. The driver did it wrongly. He understood his mistake, and I'm sure he is going to learn from his mistake. And in future, he will not do it again. He will be very careful with the old people. So the first thing that was required is to forgive the driver. And then, though I'm far away from my father, did I take the necessary actions to at least take care? Could I make the arrangements? Yes, I could. My sister was there. She rushed in with her son and all that. My friends were there. They took him to the hospital. Everything was taken care of. All that is done. And some of these things are beyond our control. Having fear about whether he will be able to walk after this or not is not in our control. We'll see when it happens. We'll try our best to rectify the whole situation. So the courage to move out starts with neutrality, and neutrality can happen through forgiveness. And if you're able to forgive, you're able to let go. And if you're able to let go, you have the reason to move out of the negative zone and come to the positive zone. So it is also connected very deeply with the chakras. Now, why chakras? We know that each of our chakras represent something. If you talk about the root chakra, it is about groundedness. The root chakra talks about being grounded. Are you grounded enough? Are you able to Understand the situation where you are. Are you able to have complete control over the system, over a situation? These are very important questions. Now, if you are not grounded enough, then of course you will keep on blaming the whole world for whatever has happened. Obviously, that doesn't lead to anything. That will not even help you to come out of the problem of the situation. Then comes the sacral chakra. I don't want to explain sacral chakra. And then, of course, you have the solar plexus, each of these chakras. I'll come to that connection after some time. But then I'm just going to tell you that even in chakras, there are three phases. Just like you saw the earlier one, sorry. Here you saw survival paradigm, reason and integrity. You see here survival paradigm, reason and integrity, and spiritual paradigm. Similarly, when you come to the chakras, the lower chakras, that is root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus, are the survival paradigm. Heart chakra is integrity and rationale, reason. And then the top three chakras, throat chakra, third eye, and crown chakra, are the spiritual paradigm. Okay, now just like our mind, we spoke about our mind. We can be in the survival paradigm at times, we can be at the spiritual paradigm at times, we can be in the reason and integrity paradigm at times. In the same way, even for chakras, sometimes our root chakra can be very strong, sometimes the root chakra can be blocked. And if the root chakra is blocked, you don't feel balanced, you don't feel grounded. So you don't pass on confidence to yourself, and hence the sacral chakra and the solar plexus also gets blocked. So then you are in a vicious cycle of the survival paradigm. Okay. And then if you have the reason, then you move up to the spiritual paradigm. Let us move on with this. I will again, this whole thing is there, which we discussed quite elaborately right now. From here, I will try to talk about soul types. This will get interesting because when you're talking about, there are different types of soul, and most of you are aware of it. But then, in case you need a brief introduction, there are different types of souls: infant souls, baby souls, young souls, matured souls, old souls, transcendental souls, and so on. Now, when you're talking about souls, the whole soul journey is, at each level, we try to improve. We try to improve and try to move more towards, the spiritual paradigm. And I'll give you some examples. For example, infant soul still has still has deep inside an animal instinct, you know and when I say animal instinct, it is like survival instinct. So the thought there, the mind state there is, there is no scope of coexistence. I have to kill somebody or something for my survival. The typical animal instinct. So a lion has to kill a deer to survive. Because the lion or the tiger will not eat grass. So, if the deer population in a jungle, in a forest, is increasing, sometimes it is a reason for worry for forest officials. It would only mean that the count of tigers or lions is falling. Because if the numbers of tigers is increasing, then the numbers of deers should fall because they have to kill deers. I'm not saying only deers; it could be other animals also. Okay, so it's a zero sum game. So deers and tigers cannot coexist. So the baby souls are like that. Their mindset is, I have to kill somebody. I have to snatch things from people. I have to grab for my survival. It is not, the state of mind is not of coexistence and certainly not of peaceful coexistence. But as we take births after births, we learn from our mistakes and we grow. As we grow, then we become baby souls. Baby souls are not very different than infant souls, but they are trying to, they try to, they're just trying to get away or get out of this whole concept of, you have to kill or you have to destroy something for your own survival. They're just trying to understand it slightly better. So they may not kill, but they may take a lot of interest in cheating people, deceiving, and all of that. All that can be there, but they may not directly kill all the time. Okay. Then comes young souls. Young souls are full of desire, full of desire. They're full of fear also. They only understand they are about to become totally human. Don't mind me saying that, but they are still not totally human. They're trying to be human. So they have come out of the killing phase and the mentality of a tiger. They have come out of that. But now they are more into material well-being. That I need a car, I need a great wristwatch to show off, I need a beautiful house to stay, and I need a lot of money to show off. So that is the young soul. So the pride is very much part of an young soul. Desire. And if it doesn't happen, there is anger. And there is also fear of losing out. If they are not able to get it, there's a fear of losing out. So that also, see, it fits into the overall emotional phase of the mind. Now, after they take several births, they learn that, life is not all about money. Life is not all about, show off. Life is not all about material well-being. Life is beyond. That is when they become a matured soul. Matured soul is in a phase of neutrality, in a phase of acceptance that I am no more an animal, I am a human being. They have the courage, they have the courage to understand and appreciate that they don't require tons and tons of money for survival. Their problems are different. They might go through some strong emotional turmoil of love, of relationships, which are very human. And this is where they start thinking about, how do I lead a life which is full of joy and ecstasy? So, matured souls generally go through a lot of emotional turmoil, because that is what we call baptism by fire. Baptism by fire for what? To enter into the spiritual paradigm. And once they are there, then they are old souls. When they are old souls, they are beyond the, you know, battlefield of emotional turmoils. They are above all those emotions. They are they have learned the art of attachment and detachment. They do their job, they let it go, they move on. And old souls, their whole objective is service. Service for mankind. Service not for money. There are different forms of service. A doctor is also into service profession. A lawyer is also offering service. Nowadays, so many healing modalities are there. For them also, it is a path of earning money. I am talking about unconditional service. That is what are old souls. And once they are in that phase, totally knowing the art of attachment and detachment, they move through births after births, births after births, and gradually become transcendental souls. Transcendental souls are the saints, the great human beings who once lived on earth, like Lord Krishna, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Guru Nanak Ji, Mahavatar Babaji. These are transcendental souls who were on earth at some point in time in person. And that is enlightenment, the highest level of emotion. So, see how the longer phase of our emotional mind is connected to the type of soul that we are. I can easily guess that most of us in this forum who are there listening to this would be plus minus matured souls. You go through a lot of emotional turmoil. You go through a lot of phases of being able to forgive at times, not being able to forgive at times. Sometimes you find it easy to let go, sometimes you don't. So it is a roller coaster ride of matured souls. You know what is to be done, but sometimes you have this problem of neutrality and acceptance, as you see there. You sometimes are so good that you enter into the love zone also. But then again, you can't stay there for a very long time. You come back. Because the path of a matured soul is towards the old soul. So your automatic attraction is towards the spiritual paradigm. Now look at the chakras. How the chakras, of course, old souls once they are at the soul state, they can be spirit guides and masters and all that. Anyway, so now if you talk about the chakras, the root chakra is very insecure. If your root chakra is not clean, If your root chakra is not aligned with Vasundhara chakra, Earth chakra, you are not grounded. You are restless. You don't know what to do. You are always trying to find out a safety spot for yourself. And that is exactly the jungle mind, infant soul. Always in a state of fear, tension. Today it is there, tomorrow it may not be there. Always the tension and the fear. Now, if your root chakra is taken care of, you will feel grounded. And then you move to the sacral chakra. Then some of the other needs come. You are still in the animal zone. See, for animals, what are the few things which are most important? One is food. Okay. After that, what? Mating, sex. So a lion will consider a lioness as an element of having sex. And there are human beings, men, who will not consider a woman anything else other than an element of having sex. There are men who will not be able to understand anything in a woman other than the sexual part. These are the symptoms of a baby soul. So for these kind of people, this kind of men, especially, no matter how intelligent the woman is, how kind the woman is, whatever it is, the man's eye is only on the attraction part. Well, I am saying man, but it could be the other way around also. Baby soul. Solar plexus. Solar plexus is gradually moving to heart chakra. Do you notice that? And I told you, heart chakra is the chakra in between. And if you talk about the emotions, there are two corners: survival paradigm, spiritual paradigm. In between, you have reason and integrity. So heart chakra is also reason and integrity. I'll come to heart chakra. But before that, solar plexus. Solar plexus is trying to create the room for the heart chakra by giving you integrity and confidence and willpower. Unless you have willpower, you cannot change. So it talks about self-confidence. If your solar plexus is strong, your gut feeling is strong, your willpower, individuality, integrity is strong. And that leads to a strong heart chakra. And if you have a strong heart chakra, you are close to a matured soul. Because this is the time everything related to heart will happen. The positives and the negatives. So what are they? Emotional turmoil will happen for a matured soul. Positives. You will be able to forgive people. You will be able to let go of situations. Because heart chakra is all about forgiveness, is all about kindness, empathy. And in the scale that you see down, it is about the acceptance, the reason and integrity to move towards the spiritual paradigm. That is, move from a matured soul to an old soul. So unless your root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart chakra are clean and aligned, not for 1 day or 2 days or a month or a year, I'm saying over a period of time, longer period of time, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you will not be able to go to the throat chakra, which actually communicates what the heart wants to speak. Many of us are at the heart chakra. For example, we have a lot of empathy, we have a lot of love towards somebody, we are unable to express. But if it is negative emotion, we express very fast. If it is about expressing your anger, displeasure, it is very fast. But if it is about expressing your love towards somebody, you feel shy. That is throat chakra problem. But gradually, once your heart chakra is open, once your throat chakra is open, you are gradually moving towards becoming an old soul. And that is when your third eye gradually opens up. Your insight opens up. Divine wisdom and intelligence opens up. That is the third eye. And the last that you see is the crown chakra, which is your gateway to the spiritual kingdom, connection to the rest of the chakras, soul star chakra, galaxy chakra, and all that. Okay, so I mean, this was just a thought in my mind, and I thought I'll share with you. And that's like more or less all that I had to share with you. And I mean, I'm done. I am open for questions or any views if you have. We can. Sorry. Yeah. So open for questions if you have any questions, or I may not be completely right in whatever I said, but then these are certain just thoughts, random thoughts I had. So please feel free to share whatever you have in your mind.
Namaste, Debasis ji. I'm Prem here. I'm speaking from Malaysia.
Yes, Premji.
This is such a deep topic, yeah. I was reflecting on what you're saying. I mean, some of it I've heard before, but hearing you put some things in perspective, a lot of things in perspective, because I felt like individually, I was an ex-cop, ex-police officer, did things which cops do. And then I got fed up with that. I decided to do other things, like become a polymath. I was one very senior doctor told me, if you can be trained to kill, you can be trained to heal. So I took that and went with that. And one thing about chakras, I used to observe in the police life as well as polymath now. I found that I required certain things from the patient. I found that mostly their ailments and illnesses were all from the mind, actually. Not so much per se the bacteria, all this stuff. It was more of them, okay, they were not hygienic at some point, fair enough. So am I. Sometimes I forget to wash my hands. But if you did well, some of them told me, oh, I've been sincere, I've been this, I've been that. I said, yes, fine. Have you been thoughtful? If you put sincerity and thoughtfulness together, then you will have a bit of peace of mind here. Instead of belly aching about what someone did to you and this fellow did to you and that fellow did to you. I resonate with what you say about sometimes we look at the other person, not at ourselves. We need to look at who needs to change here. We need to change first, not the other person. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else wants to share anything? Neelam?
Very, very touched by the story of your father, the range of emotions you went through, and
Yeah,
then
it just
how.
happened. It just happened 3 days back. I shared with you.
Yes, I'm so touched by that whole spectrum of emotions you went through and
Yeah.
how you justified and healed yourself. It's beautiful. That journey, I really, something I have to learn a lot about.
Yeah, there's nothing more educative than your own story. Because when you want to explain things to others, if you are able to explain through your own story, that's the best way to do it, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Loved the session, loved it.
Thank you. Okay, I think no more comments are there.
Thank you, Devashish. It was really a wonderful session. So many, every time you take the session, we get to know more about, how things are interrelated. And everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you all of you for joining. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Devashish. It was such an informative session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. And